Hello everybody and welcome to Project Auto. Today I'm going to be showing you guys DIY on a Mercedes carbon fiber steering wheel upgrade. So here we have the original steering wheel. It's going to look familiar to a lot of you and there's nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely fine. It's leather wrapped, perforated leather sides, smooth leather top. It's definitely a nicer wheel than most cars out there. But once you do this mod, it's really hard to go back because the steering wheel is just fantastic. It spruces up the whole interior to a whole nother level that you couldn't imagine possible. But anyways, here's the before shot. Nice steering wheel. And we're going to walk you through how to install it. So the first step, whether you have a W205, W213, C218, W218, whatever model that has this steering wheel, or any steering wheel for that matter, if you're going to swap it, you're going to first start off by unplugging the battery. And that's because we're going to be messing with the airbag. We're going to take it off, and you don't want that blown up in your face. I've yet to hear it happening to somebody, but rule of thumb when you're doing stuff like this, always unplug the battery. So you're going to unplug the little cabin air box or whatever this is here. Is just 3 clips. In my case, it's 2 because apparently one of them broke and disappeared. I don't know. But once you get that off, you release, you have access to the battery under the hood. And you have the positive terminal and the negative terminal. All you're going to have to do here is unplug the negative terminal. Keep in mind that if you do have a secondary battery in the back like I do on the CLS, you don't have to unplug it. It's not necessary. Only the front battery is going to matter in this case. So you're going to grab a 10mm socket, loosen the nut up that's holding it, and basically pull the negative terminal bracket off. Next, what you're going to do once you pull that off is wrap it in a microfiber cloth or something. Wrap it in some kind of non-conductive material so that it can't accidentally touch somewhere else. Then what you're going to do is open the door, kind of get all that discharge out so there's no residual energy left in the vehicle. Shouldn't really happen, but just in case. You're going to be getting in the vehicle anyway. So once you get in there, the next step is to take off the airbag. And this is a little different than older versions where there was 2 screws back there. There's actually 2 little like indentations. And I'm trying to point them out here with the screwdriver, but it's a little difficult to kind of see where they are. If you feel behind the steering wheel, you will kind of feel them in the back. And what you need to do is basically take your tool and push it in. Alright, so this takes a little bit of practice, especially the first time. But if I bring it around to the side here, you can see, so I've went with just a hex thing. This could be a screwdriver. You can use whatever you want. But I think the trick is here. If you have your steering wheel straight, you want to go almost perpendicular into the hole. And then you'll see here once I pull this off that how the springs kind of are oriented, and you'll see why pushing them in pops it out and where to kind of look for. But you want to go perpendicular, and then once you feel like it's lined up, then you push and this will pop out on its own. It's a lot harder than screws. I'm not sure, you know, maybe on the assembly line it's a little easier because they can have a machine maybe clip it in. But as far as actual maintenance goes, it seems like this is a little more difficult. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you're basically going to do the same thing for the other side. Alright, so I've just gone ahead and gotten the other side loose here. And next up we're going to need a flathead screwdriver, but first I will pull this out here. And you'll see here, so it's connected with a cable, but that right there, as well as that right there, is what you're trying to push towards the inside, the direction where the bolt is here. You're pushing it towards the center to release those clips that are holding the airbag in. So the next step is to unplug this. Now, depending on how they do it, I know in my other Mercedes, this other clip is also connected to the airbag. I believe that's the horn, but This has the steering wheel vibration motor and stuff like that probably, so that's all likely integrated into here. So the only clip we technically need to unplug is this yellow one. And you can see there are two tabs here. I'll try and point them out. That right there and that right there. They seem pretty easy to push, but don't be fooled. Sometimes they're a pain in the butt, but basically you'll have to pinch those two and simply pull the clip out. Alright, coincidentally that was actually a piece of cake, so maybe with the newer models they made it a bit easier. I remember that being a pain in the butt in my C300, but here we are. So now we are into the final step of removing the steering wheel, and that will be removing the main bolt here. Now one thing that you want to make sure, it's kind of too late in the step we are now, hopefully you're watching this ahead of time, is that your wheels are pointing forward and your steering wheel is exactly forward, because when you put it back, you're going to want to make sure that your steering wheel is aligned. There's a bunch of little teeth here, and if you don't have it lined up properly, then your steering wheel could be pointing like this and you could be driving straight. It won't necessarily affect anything and you'll be able to fix it later, but it's a pain in the ass to kind of take it all over again and whatnot. So make sure that you've got that all properly sorted before you start removing your steering wheel. Alright, so we're going to want to use a 10 millimeter, and this is going to go right in the center there. You're also going to want to use a breaker bar to get this off, not a ratchet. And what you're going to want to do is have somebody hold onto the steering wheel, or at least hold it on your best, although this is really easy with two people, and pretty much break the bolt. Not literally, but figuratively loosen it up. Usually the first time you do it, you're going to need two people. There's a bit of blue Loctite on the bolt, and it makes it difficult to remove. And so you're going to have usually one person holding the steering wheel with both hands straight, and then the second person with the breaker bar trying to pretty much break the bolt. As one person, it's pretty hard. Probably not impossible, but it's so much easier when you have two people the first time. Then after that, it's a little bit easier. Once you break it, then you can take a ratchet and pretty much loosen it up. So once we pull that out, then we're going to have access to removing the steering wheel. You can see here the little blue Loctite. Alright, and then it's just a matter of kind of nudging the steering wheel out. There's nothing really holding it at this point, so you just got to shimmy it a little bit and it'll come off. And just be careful not to, whip everything out, clock spring and all or anything. There is still that brown clip attached that we are going to have to unclip. So here's the brown clip. Very much similar to the yellow clip. It's got those two little prongs at the top and at the bottom. Just push them in and pull it out, and then you've got the clock spring bit here. Because we're not switching generations of steering wheel, we don't have to switch it out. Please note the little black lines there. Those are going to help you align the steering wheel when you take it back off. Now let's move on to the unboxing of the new steering wheel, and let's take a look at this beautiful piece of artwork. Alright everyone, so here it is. This thing looks amazing. Look at this carbon. I always wanted one of these for my C300, my W204, but they were always really expensive. I mean, generally these go for 1,200, 1,600. I mean, there are some ones with the electric thing that are even more expensive than that. This was a crazy deal, and this is amazing. And in fact, this even included the carbon fiber trim here, because this is a whole additional piece, this part. And usually that alone runs you like 90 bucks, maybe even more. Wow. And flat bottom. This one will fit the original airbag. Of course, there's other options if you want to change that out too. But the space for the buttons, and you can see I went with a white marker here, and then white stitching. And man, the contrast is beautiful. The pattern. Now, there is like a tiny little scratch here. Not too noticeable. But I mean, for the price point, I can handle that. I mean, no big deal. So then here's the back. So this is where the paddle shifters will go, and this is how the steering wheel is attached, of course. But wow, this is some beautiful craftsmanship. Perforated side leather, black, I think 3x3 twill carbon fiber, and white marker, white stitching, and carbon fiber trim as well. And then black center trim. This can also be swapped out with the silver trim from the factory that you got. I think the black makes it look a little more danger, but in the future I can always swap it out as well. But you can see here, flat bottom, and this is such a cool shape on its own. And then up here, actually, I don't know if I can capture it, but you can see the top is ribbed so you can get better grip, and it feels really good. And the sides, of course, are much more aggressive. It's kind of hard to capture with the camera, but they've got a nice, you can have a nice firm grip on it with the angles they have, and it looks really mean, really aggressive. I like it a lot. So we're going to install this. That's the replacement steering wheel. Very excited, and let's get this thing going. So now we're going to get to disassembling everything that's on the steering wheel so we can transfer it over to our new steering wheel. I'm going to let this play at a little bit of an accelerated speed. It's pretty straightforward. I don't think I have to walk you through each of the steps here. I will visually, of course, but I'm not going to talk through it. Some parts you might find are not in other steering wheels, so you'll see me take apart the steering wheel lane assist motor and transfer it over. That might not be in your car. You might have less cables and so on, but roughly throughout most of the models, it's going to be the same. This one has a decent amount of options, so there might be more stuff. It might be easy for you if you have maybe like a base C class or something like that. So I'm just going to run it through. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. In the meantime as well, if you haven't already, please drop a like. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel a lot. And let's take this thing apart. All right, so now it's all put together and it's ready to put back in the vehicle, and everything's pretty much just going to be the reverse of the way we took it out. So you're going to put it back to connect all the plugs, put it back on the column. Make sure, of course, that you line up the steering wheel with those black marked lines, and as long as you do that properly, then you'll be good to go. Steering wheel will be straight. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. So I'll have a couple extra clips here for you guys to finish it off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned for some more mods.
So say good night to the bad guy.